show this morning. And Tom and I are being joined by Dean from Alchemy Business Finance. A very good morning to you. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Gina. Good morning, Tom.
Morning.
Dean, tell us a little bit about who you are.
Who we are. Ultimately, Alchemy Business Finance, Gina, we set up the business 7 years ago to look after farmers across the UK. Is the fact that, when you look at the high street banks that have been closing rural branches at an intensifying rate. I think it's almost 4,500 have closed across the UK now. So ultimately, your farmer has struggled to find where to get finance from, for different things. The old local branch sit down with the bank manager, who probably has known him for decades, or the family, and talk about his needs. Now, obviously, that has gone. So we've kind of stepped into that gap, and we have a very sort of friendly, let's call it non-bank approach to working with our farming clients. They pick up the phone, they can speak to a human being and not a chat to see if they can get some funding, and actually speak to a human as next part of the stage. They'll speak to a human from day one, who we can talk farming. It's all we do. So we understand their challenges, their issues, their needs, and ultimately we're there to help them out with different sorts of financing.
It's a bit of a misconception, isn't it? But that farmers, they've got money because they're a farm, but actually it's all tied up in assets. They're not necessarily cash rich, are they? And constant investment is needed to yield the best crop.
I mean, the constant line I get, Tom, from our farming clients, and we have so lots of challenges. I mean, you and I were talking earlier about the challenges for farmers today. I mean, we can see it with the weather. The summer we had, certain parts of the country were hit by drought, so the yields of crops were down. They weren't able to grow as much grass for the cattle, so less cut, so the price of feed goes up. And now we're sort of into the snowy rain, and we're going to get this winter. So there's so many challenges for farmers today. There's changing subsidies, the move away from Europe onto British subsidies, and what's happening there. Are they on hold? Are they moving forward? How do I apply for them? Grants. I mean, it's so baffling for farmers today. If you're a small family farm, which obviously you have a lot of those in Pembrokeshire and Carmarthenshire, it's which way do I turn? How do I manage this? And then obviously you throw in the word, absolutely key for most farmers to think about, not just relying on the dairy herd or the beef herd or sheep farming, is to look at other streams of revenue. And that might be, a solar farm, it might be setting up some glamping pods. So how do you get there? So again, it's, we kind of step in and can help all sorts of farms achieve those ambitions.
Yeah, because a lot of farmers I know here in Pembrokeshire and Carmarthenshire, they've got to diversify. They've got to be doing other things. And then you think, but how are we going to do it? So they can get in touch with you.
Absolutely, Gina, absolutely. And I think, just thinking about those two counties, I mean, ultimately, fantastic opportunity with things like glamping. We have a lot of farmers down there investing in campsites, glamping, pods, because we're in such a beautiful part of the country.
Yeah. Yes.
So real opportunity for some farmers. I mean, I'm based in Bedfordshire, so there's not so much opportunity there for a beautiful glamping. How do they achieve that and raise some funds to get them there? And that's where we can help.
Talk us through the process then, Dean. There's a farmer listening to this right now and they're thinking, I've always thought about adding some solar panels or getting that glamping section part of the site as part of my diversification. If they want to contact
Okay,
you, first of all, how do
couple
they
of
do it, and what
approaches,
can they
Tom.
expect in that process?
They can give me a call direct. My number is 07902 645 650, or drop us an email at inquiries@abfltd.co.uk. We'll have a chat on the phone. I mean, the easiest approach for farmers to raise funds is through what we call asset finance. Most farmers have already got a lot of money tied up in agricultural equipment, plows. I mean, every time I speak to a farmer, I say, first thing you do is walk around your yard with a pen and paper and note down every piece of equipment, how much you think it's worth. They're always shocked as to how much money they've got tied up in kit. And quite simply, what we do is we use that equipment to whatever you want with those funds, preferably for things like campsites, not for trips to Barbados, but hopefully something related to driving the farming business forward. So that's the easiest product.
Yeah, because one of your key values from what I gather is that you're looking at sustainability. You're looking at keeping these farms in these areas, keeping these families looking after our produce, because without farmers, we lose out on food.
It's as simple as that. I mean, we've all seen these discussions going on at government level about food security, haven't we? We need to put food on our plates. We shouldn't be dependent on other countries. So absolutely, sustainability is key for us. And that's, again, where I think diversification really helps farmers survive, not just today, but for the future as well. It's key.
And you mentioned there that people can contact you on email and on telephone, but you're actually going to be relatively close, popping up at some of these different fairs and county shows that we have.
Yeah, we are going to be at the Royal Welsh Winter Fair coming up, and we're going to be at the Pembrokeshire County Show next August.
It'll be great, the opportunity for some of those farmers in the agri sector to come around and say hello and see exactly what they've got. They might be shocked before they even come and say hello to you. Gina.
Absolutely.
I just love what you're doing, and also, like you say, when people need these ideas, it's lovely actually to put a face to the name. And this is one thing which I know is strong with the ethos of the company, is that you actually go and visit the people who are looking to fund with yourselves.
That's back to this scenario where where the farmers raise funds from today, and ultimately if they ring a bank, they're probably going to get some sort of chat bot, some computer to talk to. They can pick up the phone and talk to us. We understand agriculture, and if a farmer wants to move forward with our funding, we go down and visit every client. We want to know, we want to look at their business, look at their thing, who's providing the funds to them. I mean, at the end of the day, we're humans. We like to interact with other humans. So let's get back to basics and do what we used to do all those years
Remind
ago.
us then, if you want to find out more about you, where can they find you, and then give us one of those contact details again.
Okay, so telephone number is 0650, or actually look at our website, www.abfltd.co.uk.
Dean, thank you so much for joining us. We've got a yellow weather warning for snow and ice here at the moment, thanks to the Pembrokeshire Dangler. I appreciate that you've got something similar.
Absolutely.
Yeah, go on.
Little song by.
You can
Did you want me to say, or do you want to do the
3
intro?
seconds? What have we got coming up?
Well, let's get rid of some of those
Dean, thank you so much for your time. Alchemy Business Finance, ABF Ltd on the online. It's gone 9:15 here this morning.
Thank
Thanks
you, Tom.
for joining us.
Thank you, Gina.
Thank you.
Wonderful Wednesday, sponsored by Price and Kelway